Hello everyone. This video is about prescriptive process models. Let's begin with the definition of process model. The process model can be defined as the abstract representation of process. The appropriate process model can be chosen based on the abstract representation of process. The software process model is also known as the software development life cycle or the software paradigm. These models are also called as prescriptive process models because they are following some rules for correct usage. In this model, various activities are carried out in some specific sequence to make the desired software product. We have various prescriptive process models. They are Waterfall model, Incremental process model, and Evolutionary process model. The incremental process model is again divided into incremental model and RAD model. Next, the evolutionary process model, it has prototyping, spiral model and concurrent development model. Waterfall model. It is also called as linear sequential model or classic life cycle model. It is the oldest software paradigm. This model suggests a systematic sequential approach to software development. The software development starts with the requirements gathering phase. Then the progresses through analysis, design, coding, testing and maintenance. In requirement gathering and analysis phases, the basic requirements of the system must be understood by the software engineer, who is also called analyst. The information domain, function, behavioral requirements of the system are understood properly. Then all these requirements are well documented and discussed further with the customer for reviewing. The design is an intermediate step between the requirements analysis and coding. The design focuses on program attributes such as data structure, software architecture, interface representation, algorithmic details. Next, coding. It is the step in which the design is translated into machine readable form. If design is done in sufficient detail, then the coding can be done effectively. The programs are created in this phase only. Next, testing. Testing begins when coding is done. While performing testing, the major focus is on logical internals of the software. The testing ensures the execution of all the parts' functional behaviors. The purpose of this testing is to uncover errors, fix the bugs, and meet the customer requirements. The last phase is maintenance. It is the longest life cycle phase. The major purpose of maintenance activity is when the system is installed and put it in practical use, the error may get introduced. Correcting such errors and making incremental process model. The incremental model has same phases that are in waterfall model, but it is in iterative in nature. The incremental model has some phases. They are analysis, design, code and test. This model delivers series of releases to the customer. The first increment is called core product. The word processing software package can be considered as an example of incremental model. In the first increment, only the document processing facilities are available. In the second increment, more sophisticated document producing and processing facilities, file management functionalities are given. In the next increment, spelling and grammar checking facilities can be given. Thus, in incremental model, progressive functionalities are obtained with each releases. Next, evaluationary process model. While developing the software system, it is often needed to make modifications in earlier development phases or the task sets. If the development process is linear or in a straight line, then the end product will be unrealistic. In such cases, the iterative approach needs to be adopted. The evaluationary process model is iterative in nature. It consists of prototyping, spiral model, concurrent development model. Prototyping model. In prototyping model, initially the requirement gathering is done. Then the developer and customer define the overall objectives and then identify the areas needed, more requirements gathering. Then a quick design is prepared. This design represents what will be visible to user in input and output format. From the quick design, a prototype is prepared. Then the customer or user evaluates the prototype in order to refine the requirements. Iterative prototype is tuned for satisfying the customer requirements. This is the diagram for the prototyping model. Next, spiral model. The spiral model possesses the iterative nature of prototyping model and control and systematic approaches of the linear sequential model. This model gives efficient development of the incremental versions of software. Here the software is developed in series of increments. The spiral model is divided into a number of framework activities. These framework activities are denoted by task regions. Then this spiral model is using the realistic approach for the development of large scale systems and software. Concurrent development model. This model is also called as concurrent engineering. Here the framework activities or software development tasks are represented as states. The modeling or designing phase of software development can be in one of the states like under development, waiting for modification, under revision or under review and so on. This diagram represents the various states of concurrent development model. This model basically defines the series of events due to which the transitions from one state to another state occurs. This is called triggering. These series of events occur for every software development activity, action or task. This model defines various activities that occur concurrently and a network of activities is defined.